What's up, YouTube? This is Boston X79, guys. Today I'm coming to you with my latest 2020 credit card project analysis video. Today we'll be focusing on the ongoing matchup between Valkyries and Izektors. If you guys are wondering, the first match was between the Weather and the Gradle. The Weather won, so now the Weather is one step closer to getting new support, which is pretty awesome. Both these R-types that are in the current matchup are also pretty interesting. Izektors were a meta deck back in the early Zexal era. Valkyries just recently came out in the past couple of years. They are a anime archetype that appeared in the original anime. A lot of people were clamoring for this particular archetype to come out for a while. We finally got it. And now both of these archetypes are either up for an update or to get additional support to actually take them up a notch. So let's just jump right into it. We're going to start by covering Valkyries first. Valkyries initially came out in the Shadows of Valhalla set, and then they got additional support in Savage Strike and Dark Neostorm of last year. Pretty cool. I can tell you right now, the way this deck is built, it's meant to be an OTK style deck. Primarily, you're going to load your field with Valkyries, utilize Ride of the Valkyries to be able to swing directly at your opponent, and then use Mistress of the Time Goddess to basically skip your opponent's turn and swing again for that OTK. With that being said, very powerful cards with the way they've been built. The only issue that I have is with the Goddess cards, primarily because the Goddess cards are not really suited for an OTK style build. They're really more for a more prolonged duel. And it's this kind of disjointment that really is kind of common among the anime archetypes that come into the physical card game. Because you have the deck trying to do one thing, and then you have these few cards that basically go against it, and this creates this whole disjointment. So you can't really run these particular cards in a Valkyrie deck unless you're looking to go for a more prolonged duel instead of the OTK. Now, as for support, I'm thinking probably the deck could benefit from maybe a link, since the deck can get a lot of monsters on the field at once, probably more a higher later rank, maybe a Link 3, or Link 4 that has an Omnigate built into it that can actually protect, or at least interfere with your opponent in trying to interfere with you. The primary reason is that anything that can basically shut down Riot of the Valkyries can pretty much shut down your turn, and with that being said, having that extra layer of protection built into the deck might not be that bad of an idea. And since this deck doesn't have any Link monsters, I think that would be the best way to go. Now, if we go over to Inzektors, Inzektors was an archetype introduced via Order of Chaos. They are dark insect monsters, and a lot of them can equip themselves with other Inzektor monsters from the hand or the graveyard, or effects that trigger when they're equipped with one as well. Very interesting archetype. The core of the archetype is basically going to be Centipede, Dragonfly, and Hornet. Centipede, whenever a Inzektor that's equipped to it is sent to the graveyard, you can search your deck for another Inzektor card to add to your hand. Dragonfly, whenever a Inzektor monster equipped to it is sent to the graveyard, you're special summoning a Inzektor monster right from your deck to the field. And then, of course, you have Hornet. Hornet, basically, whenever it's sent to the graveyard by its own effect, you're popping one of your opponent's card in the field. None of these effects are hard once per turn, so you can actually loop the Hornet multiple times and basically gain your resources while taking apart your opponent's field, which is actually very awesome. The deck was built to go second. And to be honest, in this particular day and age, it really won't cut it, primarily because with all the negates that are out there, you're not going to be able to do much of anything playing this pure. So the support, I think, is going to have to come in new main deck monsters for Inzektors. And each of those main deck monsters are going to probably have to carry quick effect negate effects on them. One that can negate monster effects, one that can negate spell effects, one that can negate trap effects. I think having 3 different monsters would be a very good idea. And not only that, but also having an additional effect where you can get the effect of a monster like Hornet, even though it's not being sent to the graveyard by its own effect. I know that kind of sounds insanely broken, and it could very well break Hornet, but in this particular game, with the way the meta has shaped up, it needs to happen. Very sorry to be about it, but a quick effect that can actually allow you to get Hornet's effect at the same time will offer just the right amount of disruptions for the deck to be able to do a lot of different things. And just being able to have that particular loop available to you, maybe even during your opponent's turn, would definitely help this deck out. I wouldn't mind seeing an additional Xyz monster or a Link monster that could potentially help the loop on your opponent's turn for disruption purposes, but still, I know those effects will probably be hard ones per turns, but still, it would just be helpful to get those effects off and be able to interfere with your opponents enough to disrupt their play. I think that's the support Konami has to focus in on to really update this deck and bring it up to the current meta standards. With that being said, guys, let me know down in the comments below what support you think both of the archetypes really deserve. I would love to turn on hear your ideas about it. As always, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this on my channel, make sure to subscribe, enable notifications so you don't miss a single upload. Follow me on social media, Twitter, and Reddit. And if you guys want to help grow my community to even greater heights, the link to my Discord server is also in the description box below. Join the conversation, we'd love to have you. Check out my affiliates, tcgplayer.com, as well as sidedeckversus.com. Great resources for any Yu-Gi-Oh player. And guys, until next time, peace.